Hey health heroes, welcome back to Adamimmune. I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about how minimalism saved my life. And I know that's probably going to sound a little dramatic, but just hear me out, just listen to my story. I can't deal with these glasses right now. Let's start this back in 2007. I moved to a bigger city. I moved out of my small town, USA, where I lived here in Kansas, and I got a job, and I started caring about like things, right? Like I wanted to just accumulate more things, more money, because at the time I didn't have much, right? I was like living on my own in a very small house with very little possessions, and I thought things would make me happy, like just the more I had, you know, and of course, you know, this is what I thought because I could barely pay my bills at the time, so I just assumed having everything I wanted would put me where I wanted in life. Now, skip ahead a couple years, and I was working for, you know, a bigger company, and I was making fairly good money, more money than I'd ever seen in my life, and nothing had changed mentally. Like, I don't want to say I was miserable, but I just, you know, because of my autoimmune disease, I wasn't able to work as hard as other people. I missed a lot of days of work, and that really set me behind, and I lost jobs because of that. I'm sure a lot of you people with chronic illness will understand it's hard, and especially when you don't want to come out and like tell your boss, and you don't want to tell the people you work with, you don't want to appear as, you know, weak, right? And that was me at the time. I didn't want anybody to know my weaknesses. I wanted to at least appear strong, right? I wanted to be a mental rock and physical, but I missed so many days of work. I lost jobs, but I was working this job and I was making pretty good money, and I wanted to make more. I kept getting to the point where I wanted to work harder, more hours, make more money, and it just never brought me any satisfaction at all. Like, it's like the more money I made, the more I spent, and I never actually was able to save any. Now, you could blame that on my budget skills or whatever, but it always seemed like there was just like a hole in the bottom of my pocket. It just, the more I got, the heavier it was, and the more it just fell out. I was never able to accumulate wealth of any kind. Alright, you know, I'm not talking about just, you know, like having a bunch of money saved up. I'm talking about, you know, the ability to not live paycheck to paycheck. That's what I would consider as someone well off, someone that doesn't have to live paycheck to paycheck, right? Now, I've lived that most of my life, so I think most people do, actually. So it's just, you know what it is. There's a desperation that comes over you, you know, not knowing where you're, if you're going to be able to pay your bills. Well, because of this extra money that was coming in, I thought, well, I'll buy a new car, I'll buy a new house, and I did. I bought all the fancy things in life, and then, of course, it all came toppling down because of my autoimmune disease. It eventually collapsed because I wasn't able to work that job anymore. I lost that job. During this dark time, my car was repossessed. I was able to get it back eventually, and then my house also went to foreclosure. Anybody that has gone through that knows how stressful that can be on somebody. It was awful, honestly, and I was living alone, and my bills were very high, and it was like I was living at the top end of my, I was like living above my means, right? It's like when you make so much money, you think, oh, I can pay this amount in bills out, but you know, things happen. Hospital bills come up, just unexpected bills and taxes, and just everything accumulated, and it just came to a point where I just couldn't take care of it. And in life, you know, a lot of people, they would probably let that just destroy them, you know, because money is everything, right, in this modern world. But I came to this place. I was very, very fortunate to hear about this new movement, or I don't know if it's an old movement, minimalism, right? And I just absorbed it. I just knew that this was the right way to go, that less is more, and that money, I didn't want money to be my God, my idol. I didn't want money to control my life, my priorities in life, what I went through, what I wanted to do in life, because I knew, I mean, money helps us do things, and it helps us accomplish things, but money being the actual goal, the end result, is not what I wanted, right? And, you know, because I put money, I would say, as a purpose, I never had that higher purpose. I was never able to really, you know how people say, you know, oh, I'm trying to find myself. Well, I think that's where they get lost. I thought I was trying to find myself, but I should have spent that time trying to create myself, like I have been for the last few years. You don't find yourself. You don't magically wake up one day and like discover yourself. You have to create who you are. You have to decide who you want to be. You have to really spend some time deciding who do you want to be and spend every day trying to be that person and creating that person. Minimalism really did save my life because when I absorbed it, I was able to let all the other things go. The materialistic things in life, the money, the greed, just all the things that I wanted. I understood that I would never be happier. I would never find that satisfaction. I would never feel that hole in me that, seemingly was missing like my entire life. I knew I was trying to fill it. And, for a lot of my life I tried to fill it with food. I think a lot of people can relate to that. But yeah, it wasn't there. No matter how much money I made, no matter how many things I bought, I would buy myself all kinds of stuff. It never made me happier at all. There was never a level of satisfaction beyond the day I got it or something. It would be like a week later it'd be old news, right? And that's how it is with all things. You buy a new car, a new house, you can get used to anything. That's why I really believe in people and keeping good people close to you, because people aren't something that you can own. But I'm not trying to tell people how to live their life by any means. I'm just trying to say what it did for me, right? So this minimalism to me is just, it kind of all boils down to, what can I live without? What do I need the most? And if I can live without something, I should. If it is unnecessary, I have to cut it out of my life. And that is kind of the ultimate rule that I live by, right? This minimalism, it affects my life, it affects the way I live, it affects my diet even. And I think that's how I was able to ultimately find autoimmune remission and 150 pounds of weight loss because I put that first, right? Like if I don't need something, I'll try it out or whatever, I'll try it out and I'll taste the food, I'll try it for a week, and it's like ultimately in my head, it keeps spinning. I'm like, do I really need this? I'll try it again. Do I really need this? No, the answer is no. And if I know that I don't need it as a nutritional food, I just cut it out. And I feel like that has helped me so much in my life. I wanted to share that because this has been invaluable to me, bringing me to just that level of satisfaction that I needed in my day-to-day life. I think that's why I'm happier. I'm happy. I'm not saying I'm happier than most, but I do know a lot of people are miserable in this modern day because they have everything they need. They buy everything they want, but they're never satisfied, right? So it's not a matter of going after and trying to attain more things. I think it's more important to just be grateful for what we have, and whenever we're feeling down, to just think, what do I have? Do I have a roof over my head? Did I eat today? Did I have a full meal? Was I able to get the level of nutrients that my body requires? Those are things that we need, right? And we need social interaction. We need so many things in our life. We do need many things. And I think it's great to try to attain those. But beyond that, it's like we set the bar so high because, we have TVs, we have social media, and we're seeing everybody out there just getting all these cool things, right? And they have this following, and then they have these fancy materialistic clothes or cars or houses again, or I don't know, whatever, just fancy stuff, right? And that's fine if somebody wants to have those things. Again, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their lives. I just think the price we put on those things matters. Again, just to sum it up, I lost everything in my life and I sort of gained it all back again, and then some, by just realizing less is more. This probably could have been a 1-minute video. Sorry about that. I have a tendency to ramble, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about minimalism. How has it affected your life? Does it affect your diet? Do you cut things out of your diet that you don't need, like refined sugar? Do you try to stay away from all the processed foods, all the fancy foods that you can buy online? Do you do that? I know I try to, but we got to treat ourselves every now and then, right? Within our guidelines, right? Within our AIP, keto guidelines, or whatever diet you're on, whatever lifestyle or protocol you're living by. I'm not trying to tell everybody to live the same life. I hope this is helpful to somebody, and if you thought it was, maybe leave a like, smash that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.